Good afternoon. Extinction Rebellion South Australia is here in Crafers on stolen Paramount country, and I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of this land, the Paramount people. Today is stage 5 of the Tour Down Under race. I believe it's the last one, and we are here to support the bike race, but we are not happy about the sponsor being Santos. So we are saying dump Santos. We've been making a big presence at all stages of this event. So on the final day here today, we're up at Crafers. Things are getting a bit busy here now. We think the bikes should be through in about 10-15 minutes for one of the laps that they're doing around this course up in the Adelaide Hills. Lots of spectators on bikes here. We have our beautiful rebels now doing some chanting on the bikes. You can feel that it's getting a little bit more hectic here. Bikes must be near. Things are ramping up. And here comes the cortege coming in. And decarbonise. Science cannot compromise. So we haven't got the official bikes yet. We've got some
decarbonise. Science cannot compromise.
Team riders going through.
Science cannot
but we are here to say dump Santos, end fossil fuels now.
Decarbonise.
There is,
cannot compromise.
and we say bikes yes, Santos no.
Decarbonise.
Big crowd here for this stage of the race.
Science cannot compromise.
Mixed reactions from the crowd.
Science cannot compromise.
Some positive, some not. But we need to be seriously ending fossil fuels now. Time is running out. And it is just not acceptable for us to have fossil fuel companies gaining credibility. We have fantastic. Hi there. Fantastic spectacle. Beautiful. So, lots of bikes. I'll get over the road a little bit. So, end fossil fuels now. So what's all this about? What are we saying? What are we wanting? Extinction Rebellion, South Australia here. We are have the headquarters of Santos in Adelaide. We have this major oil and gas company housed in our city, and we don't want them here, and we don't want them sponsoring sport. So stop the greenwashing and stop the sports washing. Santos is buying social license through their sports washing, using dirty money to gain social credibility. We cannot allow Santos to buy their social consent for dangerous fossil fuel projects. It is horrendous that the word Santos is becoming synonymous with a bicycle race. So drop it now. We got rid of big tobacco. Nowadays you wouldn't dream of having tobacco companies sponsoring sports. They used to, but due to scientific evidence. Yeah, the guy on stilts is very cool. Thanks, Chris. welcome those of you who are watching. So Big Tobacco used to sponsor lots of sports, and it was just abominable. The science was there, it was clear, tobacco kills. And we got rid of that. Community campaigns forced tobacco out of sponsorship of sports. And now it's time for fossil fuel companies to get out of using sports to gain social credibility in their social license. We need to do the same to these dirty gas, coal and oil companies whose products are a threat to the health and safety and future of life, all life on the planet. Last year the Australian Open dropped Santos as a sponsor, and so must the Tour Down Under. Great sight of the flags and the breeze here on a sunny day up in the hills, Crafers, Adelaide Hills, Paramount Country. Some big discussions going on. Should be another 5-10 minutes or so before the bike race actually comes through here. They've got it up on the big screen up there. Can't see how far away they are. Looks like they're chopping their way up a hill there. Slow riding. Another irony that we have here is that the South Australian government has announced a climate emergency. In 2022, MP Susan Close excuse me, stood on the steps of Parliament House. She was absolutely thrilled to be there on Parliament House with climate activists on the steps outside Parliament, and she was talking of her credentials about having been a climate activist in her younger days, part of Greenpeace and so on. And she promised that the newly elected Malinowska's government would declare a climate emergency. And true to her word, they did, which was fantastic. Fast forward to this year, and now we have our Deputy Premier and Environment Minister Close has completely missed the point about what XR is doing here at these rallies. She derided us and saying it's misguided to target a cycling race. We are not here targeting cycling. We are not targeting a cycling race. We are proud to have an international cycling event in our state. What we are targeting is Santos as a sponsorship. So, Minister Close, get the facts right. Sponsorship of fossil fuel companies is not good. We want Santos to get out of the Tour Down Under. We cannot allow Santos to leverage sponsorships to gain social license for fossil fuel expansions. And under the Malinowska's government, that's exactly what's happening. There are expansions happening to coal and gas and so on. It's in the midst of a climate crisis. It is criminal. We're asking for no new fossil fuel projects. Tourism Minister Zoe Bettison also said how great it is to have Santos as a sponsor. Lots of chanting going on. We still have our stilty man here, which is fabulous. He's getting a good view of the crowd. Lots of families out on bikes. I think every bike rider in the state is out. So this is the end of the Tour Down Under today. We have been campaigning throughout the whole event. We've had a presence at every stage of the event of the Tour Down Under, over a week's worth. We started at the presentation. Well, before the presentation, We did an action before the race even started. We were there at presentation night on the Friday, the beginning of the TDU, and we've had a presence ever since. Last night there was a snap action that took place outside of Santos's building in the city of Adelaide when the Criterium race was on, and we made it clear in black and white that Santos must go. The black paint thrown over Santos building windows and dump Santos, clearly written in white, across the windows. And two brave rebels glued themselves to the windows last night. So we're not letting up. We're not going anywhere. I think looks like road closers closing off the road, getting ready for the bikes to come through, and we will make our presence known. A bit glary on the screen. I'm trying to see who else has joined us. Oh, there we go. Dee. Hi Dee. Thanks for joining us.
Yes. Santos, no. Bikes, 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 yes. Santos, no.
So a big turnout today of spectators and a big turnout of XR South Australia. We've also had great support from colleagues. Other climate activist groups this week have also been out protesting about Santos being the sponsor of the Tour Down Under. Really appreciate everybody rallying together to say get rid of this dirty fossil fuels. And we've even had some of the professional riders give us a thumbs up. Some of our Extinction Rebellion members took part in the community challenge ride. It was ended up in Athelston, and they did the whole grueling ride up, I think, at 3 hills, and they completed the race coming over the finish line, displaying their Dump Santos bibs. So we've been here at Crafers. We have been in the city at the presentation of the riding teams. We have the big demonstration outside as well as inside that event. We have been at Brighton. We have been at Wollonga, where some literally cheeky women showed their cheekiness and their cheeks, and were arrested for that, to say dump Santos, and Santos sucks. All gone a bit quiet now, waiting for the riders to come through. So what else has Santos been up to? Well, interestingly, Santos, who has this huge amount of money to support community events and sport events, are doing so not just out of the generosity of their heart and not just to gain their social license and greenwashing and sports washing, but it's also under an agreement with the South Australian government from some many years ago, where a deal was done where they would provide a large amount of money for community events in return for the government changing the rules about share capping shareholders and the number of shares that Santos could hold. Santos was complaining it was holding back their expansion plans, and the government agreed to change what was going on, but Santos has to keep their headquarters in South Australia and has to provide this huge community bucket of money. And we do have a very hardy protester who's been following us around, who's supporting Santos. His sign just broke in the breeze that's blowing up here, and he's just saying, more drilling, more jobs. Very true. But what would be a better idea, and what is essential, is to have a transition to green jobs. Instead of pumping money into fossil fuel companies in subsidies, the government should be and must divert that money, tax these companies properly, and provide more support for green companies, green fossil fuel free companies, and green jobs, to make sure that there are more jobs. We're not asking for everything to be shut down and people to be kicked out of employment. We want a just transition, which is what unions, of course, are calling for as well. So we acknowledge a lot of work has to be done, and it can be done with a willing heart of willing participants. I think the race is about to come. Rustling of the flags. Everybody's gone quiet.
Hello, Izzy.
Hello there.
Hope we can be visible here.
I think you will be visible. It's beautiful, beautiful flags in this little breeze today, not too windy. Do you want to have a couple of words before the bikes come?
Yeah, sure. So we're here today to show everyone who comes to this wonderful bike race that we need to stand up against Santos sponsorship. They are trying to use this bike race to greenwash their name, and in that name they are actually doing the most horrendous things. They're just about to start drilling 850 wells at Narrabri in the Pilliga, and they're going to destroy the Artesian Basin, one of the biggest bodies of underground water in the world, and they're doing many other things. They've just got a lot more happening in the pipeline. Check their website.
Yes. Excellent. Thanks, Anna.
No worries.
And yes, the Pilliga is a great concern. Also, in November last year, there was a oil spill from one of their offshore platforms in Western Australia, which was covered up between Santos themselves and the West Australian government. So I wonder if I can extend this up a bit. Looks like we're here for the race, so let's see what's going to be happening. So we've got the signs going up, we've got the flags up, waiting for the race to come by. Oops. And we've got another cop bike coming. Here we go. A lot of standing around, and we'll have a few seconds of bikes flashing by. to be more motorbikes than anything else at the moment. Anyway, so we have got I think the bikes were due 12:38. We're about that time now, so they should be here any minute. And I suspect a lot of chanting and noise will start when they come.
Bikes, yes. Santos, no. 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 Bikes, yes. Santos, no.
Absolutely.
Bikes, yes. Santos, no. 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 Yes. Santos, no. Bikes, yes. Santos, no. Bikes,
I think
yes.
all the cops on bikes are having fun today. I think they're all out on the streets.
Santos, no.
Motorcycle cops.
No.
Oh, and these are all the support bikes.
Bikes, yes. Santos, no. Bikes, yes. Santos,
Photographers.
no. Bikes, yes. Santos, no.
Here they come.
Yes.
Here they come.
Santos, no. Bikes, yes. Santos, no. Bikes, yes. Santos, no. Bikes, yes. Santos, no.
That's the head of the pack. Some more will be coming.
That's it. No, we've got heaps more to come. They're obviously the lead group. Got a big lead.
Oh, the leaders of the pack. Here comes the next
Here comes
round.
Bikes, yes.
For a healthy sport of pedal power, there is an awful lot of fossil fuel vehicles involved in this event. Loads and loads and loads of cars. So, oops, let's move out of the way. Flags everywhere. So that was the first lap. There are going to be a couple of other laps of, they'll eventually come round. And helicopter overhead, huge police presence. But an amazing amount of fossil fuel involved in a bicycle race, which is quite ironic, really. And Santos trying to get their social license out of a green sport. But there you go. Okay, beautiful day. Up in the hills. We're going to be staying here for the duration of the race, for the next few laps that come round. I'll be signing off with the live stream. Excellent doggos out watching the race there. A couple of little cute schnauzers. Gotta say hello to the doggos. So, here's the crowds. All the personal bikers will be going for a little spin back to our central position. We'll leave you with a message of why we're here today. End fossil fuels now. This is the campaign that we started in South Australia, XR South Australia, last year, when we blockaded the conference of mining engineers, fossil petroleum engineers at the Adelaide Convention Centre. This is the second stage of our End Fossil Fuels Now campaign, and we will be continuing this campaign on to another upcoming petroleum related conference that will be in Adelaide a little bit later this year. So dump Santos from the Tour Down Under and any sporting event, all the sports teams they support as well. So thanks for those of you, a few of you are actually watching live stream. I know many more people actually catch up with this after the event. So rounding up our Tour Down Under picketing. So farewell from Paramount Country.